In the heart of Vietnam, amidst the fading grandeur of the Nguyen dynasty, stood a woman caught between two worlds. Her name was Nam Phương, meaning fragrance of the south, but to the world, she was the last empress of Vietnam. This is not just a story of imperial decline, it's the tale of a Parisian-educated fashion icon who became a political force, a diplomat fighting to save a 1,000-year-old legacy from the ashes of war. The corridors of the imperial city of Huc were once alive with the whispers of courtiers and the scent of lotus blossoms. By the summer of 1940, that silence had become heavy, filled with the unspoken fear of an ending. Empress Nam Phương, Ene Bon Maritharis, Nguyen Hayu, Dao Lan, was a figure of stunning contrasts. A devout Catholic, educated in the sophisticated salons of Paris, she was also the woman destined to sit upon the Phoenix throne. For years, the world knew her as a silent icon of elegance. Se revolutionized the traditional Phao, transforming it into a symbol of modern Vietnamese grace and effortlessly charmed European royalty. But as the distant thunder of World War II rolled towards French Indochina, her glamorous life as a fashion plate was about to be burned away by the harsh realities of history. The fall of her world began not with a cannon blast, but with a quiet, humiliating surrender. In Europe, the Vichy French government, defeated and compliant, allowed Japanese troops to station themselves in Vietnam. The French governors who had once dictated terms to her husband, Emperor Bio, were now looking over their own shoulders. From her vantage point in the palace, Nam Phương watched the shift in power. Japanese advisors began to replace French officers. She saw the growing desperation in the countryside as the occupiers diverted rice shipments to fuel their expanding war machine, sparking a catastrophic famine, while her husband, the emperor, retreated into hunting and the company of his concubines. Escaping the shame of his own powerlessness, Nam Phương stepped into the void. She understood with chilling clarity that if the monarchy was to survive this global fire, it couldn't just be a puppet. It had to become a shield for its people. They then turned to Emperor Boji and offered him independence. But Nam Phương saw the truth behind the gesture. In the dim, heavy light of the throne room, she whispered to her husband, "They do not offer us a kingdom. They offer us a gilded cage, while the world outside is screaming." She knew words and appearances were no longer enough. The Empress began to wield her influence in a new arena. She became a diplomat in a crumbling era, mediating between fractured political factions. She reached out to the International Red Cross, desperately organizing relief efforts for the millions starving in the north. Through it all, she fought to maintain a semblance of imperial dignity, a symbol of stability, even as the Japanese occupiers grew more desperate and their grip tightened. She was no longer just the Empress. She was the last line of defense for a dying dynasty. And then, the fire reached the palace gates. With Japan's unconditional surrender in August 1945, a massive power vacuum opened across Vietnam. They mean the revolutionary forces, led by Ho Chi Minh, surged forward to claim the country's future. To them, the imperial world was a relic of feudalism and foreign collaboration, a symbol of the past that needed to be swept away. In those final, frantic days, as the empire teetered on the brink of oblivion, Nam Phương showed her true mettle, while court officials packed their bags and fled, and the emperor himself wavered. She remained composed, a pillar of strength. Her primary concern was not her throne, but the safety of her children and the prevention of a bloodbath. She skillfully negotiated to ensure that the transition of power, the abdication of the last imperial family, would not end in a massacre. On August 25, 1945, the end came. As Boji stood before the revolutionary delegation, handing over the sacred symbols of his power, the golden seal and the ceremonial sword, Nam Phương stood just behind him. She was a figure of immense tragic grace. She wore no jewels, no crown, only the invisible weight of a 143-year-old dynasty coming to an end. It was the final, quiet curtain call for Imperial Vietnam. Her life after the fall was one of exile. The Empress spent her final years in the quiet French countryside, a world away from the lotus ponds and imperial palaces of Huc. She had lost her title, her country, and eventually, the unity of her own family. But there was one thing she never lost: her dignity. Empress Nam Phương story is a powerful reminder of the human cost of history as great turning points. She navigated the fall of an empire during the greatest war humanity had ever seen. transforming from a silent, beautiful symbol into the final, beating heart of a lost world. She was the last empress, a woman who faced the end with courage, grace, and an unbreakable spirit. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the past. If you found this story as compelling as we do, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more hidden histories. Let us know in the comments what other historical figures you'd like to learn about. See you next time.